Have you encountered people in life who never seem to grow up? Have you felt frustrated dealing with such people, wondering when would they change? Have you ever felt stuck yourself, not being able to grow out of a situation in life? Or do you face issues when dealing with people or with situations in life? Welcome to the Alpha Life Project. Here the focus is on all things you, with the agenda of establishing awareness, enabling analysis, and empowering action so that you can upgrade your life. Always remember, you have just one life, so may as well make it your alpha life. This is Bala, your fellow alpha lifer and host, and it's a beautiful time for us to live our alpha life. After all, if not now, then when? Today we have a very interesting topic. Today's topic of introspection is growing up. It seems like it's a strange topic to pick up, but let's really explore it further and see whether it makes sense for us or not. It's deep stuff. It's a deep topic to explore. So we will be doing this in two parts. The first part will be the why of growing up. The second part will be the how of growing up. This is without a single doubt one of the biggest challenges of the entire human race, this growing up business. It is really hard. If it wasn't so hard, everyone would have done it by now. Look around and you will always wonder, when would people grow up? Why are there so many people who are not growing up? This growing up that we are talking about, it's not about the physicality or the biological aspect of it. That happens automatically. You don't need to do anything to make that happen. What we are talking about, and which is the most difficult part of this, is the emotional growing up. You would remember from our earlier podcast, we spoke about the different stages in the game called life. Today's topic, growing up, will actually help you to cross all the levels in that game. Now let's look at the why of growing up. When we look at ourselves, our species, the entire humankind, from an evolutionary or a biological perspective, a couple of very interesting things strike you. Physically, we are actually much weaker than all the other species. But mentally, we are much stronger and much evolved. Now, people usually say that this is a strength for the human race. This also becomes a weakness in a very different way. Let's try and explore how. Let's go back to childhood. A lot of things that happened in our childhood actually define how we react to situations later. So what happens when we were children? When you were a child, you were more or less dependent on others. And for how long? Almost 15 to 18 years, 20 years maybe. This is probably the longest that any species takes for the offspring, for the younger one to actually develop and be on its own. It's very simple. During these years, you just can't take care of yourself on your own. You need people. You need a lot of people around you. The physical body, it develops actually quite slowly. But the mind really develops fast, very fast. You are constantly learning new things, lots of things. You are like a sponge. You are absorbing everything that is happening around you. And you absorb one particular characteristic, one particular very important thing happening around you. You realize that you have people around you who are caring for you, your parents or your caregivers. These parents, they are the ones who are providing you with maximum learning in the initial years. You look at these parents in awe. They can really never do anything wrong. And why is that? Because they are the ones who are giving you all their attention. Remember how as a child you would get all the attention of your parents? That's how it works. Now these parents are seen in a perfect light. All these elders, let's just call them parents as a general term. Whether they were caregivers, whether they were other adults around you who assisted you in your growing up. But these were the guys who gave you a lot of attention. When you are young, attention is assigned huge survival value because you feel that when someone is attending on you, when they are giving you attention, it helps you to survive. Oh, which it does, by the way. You're right. When seen in this light, in this perfect light, you start idolizing or idealizing your parents. They really can't do anything wrong, ever. And that is because you are getting so much attention from them that all your needs, more or less, are fulfilled by these guys. How can they ever do anything wrong? Your brain starts getting wired in such a manner that you start thinking that attention is all that you need for you to survive. Pay close attention to these words. That is when it happens. Because you are putting so much value on the attention that you get, and rightly so maybe for that time, you start feeling that this is absolutely mandatory for your survival. The one thing that you are really hooked onto during your childhood is attention, getting all attention from everyone around you. Oh, but all of this is very soon going to change, isn't it? Now you grow up a little bit more. You are much stronger physically. You actually can start taking care of yourself. You are an adolescent. Your mind has developed a lot. You know a lot of stuff now. At this stage, your parents, they start rolling back or toning down on the attention given to you. You actually don't need it, so they don't give it. But the attention that is given so much survival value, assigned so much survival value, when it is withdrawn, you start getting withdrawal symptoms. You start sometimes wondering whether your parents really bother or really care about you. Are they really concerned about you? It's very simple. There's a huge difference in attention that you get from your childhood and to your adolescence. And you start wondering, how would you survive? Oh, all of this is happening deep inside. Your mind is really at this point of time super active, thinking whether you will survive or not, because of the equation of attention is equal to survival. No wonder you start doing things that call for attention. Not only you, every adolescent in the world. They start doing things that call for attention on themselves. Sometimes they could be positive, like doing all the things that your parents ask you to do, or sometimes it could be negative, doing things exactly diametrically opposite from what your parents are asking you to do. Either ways, you want attention, and you're going to do everything to get it, aren't you? This is a strange mismatching equation. Parents are wondering, why is the adolescent doing this? Adolescent is wondering, why is the parent not giving me any attention? And the parent is wondering, why does the adolescent need so much attention? And the way they give attention at that time, once the adolescent asks for it, is completely different. Completely different. And that goes on to further strengthen the belief that you've formed about your parents. By the way, an interesting aside, this is how and when sibling rivalry is created. that is, when the adolescent sees that the parent is actually giving more attention to his or her sibling rather than to them, and there is a huge sibling rivalry. At this point, the adolescent starts seeing the parent in a less than perfect light. They start realizing that the parent is far from perfect. After all these years of seeing them as perfect, as ideal, the moment they start seeing these so-called chinks in their armor, these so-called flaws, suddenly the parents look like they are exactly opposite. Forget about idealizing. A certain degree of demonizing starts. That is when idealizing reduces and demonizing begins. The adolescent starts holding even the smallest things against their parents because they think that their parents don't care for them. They're not bothered for them. See the play over these years, going from an idealizing scenario to a demonizing scenario. All these thoughts that happen during childhood till about maybe adolescent stage, all these form the base for the now adult, the person who's now an adult, while they are dealing with their current situations in life. It's warped. It's twisted at a different level. But it is human. It is all human. There is no right or wrong here. Think about it for yourself. Think about how this applies to you in your life. Now, for anyone to really grow up, there are two types of intelligences required. One is what I would call as an inward intelligence. This helps you to learn new skills, and these skills are required to make your life, your vocation, the job that you do, all those things. There is another intelligence called the outward intelligence. This helps you in dealing with the people around you. You need both of these, by the way. One is not a substitute for the other. You can be superly inwardly intelligent, but if you don't have outward intelligence, all your relationships are gone. Oh, vice versa. If you have all the outward intelligence in the world, but you don't know the basic skills to make your own life, it's still a waste. This outward intelligence is what really decides if one has grown up or not. It's a huge function of what you are holding from your childhood and your adolescence. What we saw just now, what we discussed just now, and how the same is being projected onto all the people around you. See how you do this. The main issue that you face is your tendency to project your own emotional needs onto other people. And when you do this, you build expectations. When you build expectations, you build an entitlement that these expectations will be met. They have to be met. How dare they are not met? And if they are not met, which in most of the cases they are not, you react to them in such a manner that it just looks absolutely crazy. But how do you do that? You misinterpret people, their intentions, their actions. It looks as if people are out to get you because they haven't given you their attention. Remember that. You react instead of responding to the situation. You react to people. You always feel that you need to fight for yourself, for your own right, for your attention. You keep your weapons up at all times. All of this, it leads to various issues in life. Issues like the fears that you have, the insecurities, the jealousy that you go through, the shame, the guilt, all your resistances, all the feelings of entitlement, perfectionism, stress, whatnot. It's crazy. The main issue, of these projections, the main issue is when you project issues from your childhood or from your parents onto the current situation, you're not dealing with reality. You're dealing with it with a separately tinted glass. It's a differently colored glass. It makes all your dealings and all your interactions very emotionally oriented, not rational, not as per the situation. Whatever idealizing or demonizing you have done with your parents, you do that now also with all the people around you. Think about it. None of this is a problem, by the way, unless it goes to an extreme, because it is a culmination of years of mental conditioning that you have put yourself through. Unknowingly. Most of it is unknowing. All of this mental conditioning leads to a kind of automated response. None of this is reality, by the way. None of this is reality. It is just an interpretation of the situation, just your perception of the situation. This conditioning, it needs to be broken. In all of this, what the other person is really doing or really intending, it gets lost in the maze of your own projection. Again, no right or wrong here, just consequences. Consequences are what you get to face. What matters in all of this is how you listen to people. That should itself give you an indication of how you're dealing with the situation. Do you listen to ignore? Do you listen with impatience? Just listening to respond or listening to understand people really? Remember this. All of these things that we are discussing, all this conditioning, all of this leads to a perspective that can be called as an ignorant perspective, a naive perspective, if you may. Being overly emotional with people, projecting your own issues on people and situations, misreading people, their intentions, what they really intend, doesn't matter because you're already projecting your needs on them. And you're judging people constantly. You're viewing them from your own lens of requirement, what you need at that time. If they meet it, you idolize them. If they don't meet it, you demonize them. In all of this, you end up feeling overly sensitive, very vulnerable, always feeling that people are out to get you, always on the lookout to protect yourself, and hence to blame people around you. And what happens when you blame people around you? When you blame people for the situations in your life, you act like a victim, as if it's not your fault, and hence you don't take up responsibility. All of this is a naive perspective, very ignorant perspective. I think it's very, very clear from all of this as growing up, that growing up is required for everyone. It's not a function of age. You need a lot of constant self-work to really get over these projections. Oh, by the way, there is no end to this, no end point to this. It is a journey, the journey of growing up. What if you were to watch the movie of your life right now? Just suppose that you continued with this ignorant perspective in life. What if this were to be the same as it has been since your childhood? Imagine how would your next few years or the rest of your life would look like. Just suppose that this is how you continue with your life. Imagine how does your entire life look like when you are dealing with everyone and everything from an ignorant perspective. Think about it. A few Alpha Life thoughts to introspect upon. Who have you become with this ignorant perspective? Why do you continue to operate with this kind of a mindset, with this ignorant perspective? Why is this so important to you? Why do you keep holding on to it? How did this ignorant perspective develop for you in the first place? Think about it. And how has this been affecting your life? What areas of your life does it affect? Which of your relationships does it affect? Who said growing up is easy? Just when you thought that you were all grown up, maybe you're into relationships, maybe you can take care of yourself, maybe you're earning money. Whatever you're doing that you defined as growing up is far from the truth. This is a real growing up. We've just seen why growing up is required. In the next episode, we will look at the how of growing up. How does one really grow up? Thank you for listening in. If you like what you're listening to, please share it with people in your own circle, in your own tribe, in your own group. Maybe this could help them also to live a great life, a fulfilled life, a flourished life, an alpha life. Once again, Welcome to your Alpha Life project.